There may be only one podcast and only one host right now, and may it be me in the Princes of the Universe. Yes, I decided to come back and do it. Why not? I like the idea of being ahead. I like all the positive feedback, or, I've heard from these podcasts. The numbers are high on these, man. I probably ought to do more of these, I guess. Everyone loves it when I talk Star Wars, even fan fiction Star Wars. They like, and I appreciate all the encouragement, what you thought that was interesting and everything. Yeah, thanks. Still not going to write it anytime soon. But it did encourage me to tell you the other one. Now, this one I am almost positive, because I've been walking around and kind of just as I'm pushing around the kids or whatnot, because we go on walks, in my head, while they're singing Happy Birthday, my little boy sings Happy Birthday. He's 1 year old, and he goes, Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, and just over and over again. So that's his favorite song right now. He's practicing for his sister's birthday, which is coming up soon. And so in my head, where everyone's screaming, yelling, having a good time, I'm pulling a wagon of 4 little goobers, and it's heavy. I'm pulling it uphill most of the time. Now, the last half of the trip is really sweet because it's all downhill. And not too fast downhill, but it's like at that point, I am physically spent. And so if it wasn't downhill, I'd be sunk too. Anyway, so as I'm pushing him around, I was thinking about ideas, talking about it, and man, I think I maybe hit 15 minutes tops, and that was with interruptions too. So maybe just 10 minutes. So I do have some other things that I can talk about, I think, to fill 30 minutes. I want to fill 30 minutes because I feel like 30 minutes is a good time for a podcast. But let's go ahead and talk about my idea first, and then we'll talk about whatever random thing is I can fill in. The idea was, after reading the X-Wing series, and I remember even asking Stackpole, I believe it was a forum or a Ask Me Anything forum or something back in the day, and where he had the instant messaging, and people, they'd interview an author on instant messaging. And I asked him if he ever thought about doing a TIE Fighter series. Like he did X-Wing, we did TIE Fighter. He's like, oh, I'd love to. He said, I'd love to do a TIE Fighter. He said, but that's something that Bantam would have to approve and Lucasfilm would have to approve. And he said, but yeah, I'd love to do TIE Fighter. And I was like, oh man, a TIE Fighter series would be great. Well, when it never came about, I thought, well, dude, I'd write one. Now, what would it be about? Because you want to make it different. You don't want to make it about, you do want to make it about a squad of TIE fighters and how it works. I always like how, and I can't remember who wrote this, but in a TIE fighter, when you hit space, oh, no, I know what it is. It's the Steel Chronicles. When you hit space, automatically you feel a little bit lighter in the cockpit because there's no gravity, right? And your TIE fighter, your TIE cockpit barely has gravity. So you feel a little bit lighter when you're in a TIE fighter in space, which I thought was a really cool idea. Well, maybe talk about how it feels to fly a TIE fighter, going up through the academy, Imperial Academy, how it's going to be hard, how this guy and a few of his teammates got on the same squadron, and they're going out there together, but all of his members die, except for him, maybe. And even his captain dies, so he takes control. Well, now he automatically, without maybe 2 missions underneath his belt, he's been promoted to captain because he has survived X amount of, flights, or more than 3, which is more than the average TIE fighter pilot, which he's thinking, oh, geez, we got to change up our strategy. So maybe he talks to Baron Suitner Fail and get some tips from him about how to stay alive, what to do, kind of trains a little bit under him, like he's not part of the 181st, but they were on a tour together on a Star Destroyer, and he learned a few things for survival. So he's trying to apply that to his team, and I don't remember what they're called. Venomous Bite, or whatever is what their name is. Something cool like that. And so he has a cadre of TIE fighter pilots, or cache, I should say, of TIE fighter pilots who have different gripes with the rebellion, or they're kind of sadistic, kind of, like, I just want to kill everyone, kind of insane. And even though he does see the Empire do some out-of-line things, he still thinks it represents order and structure, like Baron Suitner Fail did way back in the day. So He's loyal to it, and just to make things different, he's only in a TIE fighter for the very first book. Okay? What happens after that? He feels that it's time to stretch his boundaries. TIE fighter pilots have a short life. Who has a longer life? Well, TIE bombers. TIE bombers are used kind of carpet bomb things. They get lots of coverage. And so he's thinking, you know what? It's time to stick with something that gives me a little bit more longevity. The TIE fighter is not it. So he switches. So the next one is called TIE Bomber, not TIE Fighter, TIE Bomber. And of course, it's his adventures of doing strafing runs and bombs. Now, this is where he comes across, and maybe the whole time, there's a friend of his and I do have this in there, there's a friend that they were on the same planet together, they grew up, they both wanted to be in the Empire. He didn't know what happened to his friend. He kind of disappeared overnight. He thought he was one of the many people who, got disciplined and got booted from the academy. It turns out that his buddy was a rebel, and he finds that out in TIE Fighter when he finds out he's going head-to-head against his buddy, because his buddy does this little trick that they always talked about doing. And he realized that maybe they both crashed on the planet, and he kind of realizes, he takes him captive and has him captive the whole time, but ends up letting him go at the very end. Even though he hates what he's become, he hates that his friend's become a rebel, his buddy's like, you just don't know the things I know. You don't know the atrocities they have. He said, hey, they do what's necessary. You rebels started, we got to end it. That's how it works. But in TIE Bomber, now he gets questionable things. He bombs what they think is a rebel hideout base. It turns out to be just a place where their families are. Now, even though he feels that his superior officer knew this, and that it wasn't just a base for their leadership, it's just a base for their kids and children to hide, he thinks he's lying. And he said, I think you're lying to me, he said, no, we honestly thought that. Hey, if a few civilians, a few kids, that's their fault. And so he's mad. He's angry about this. But he thinks it's just a one-off instance. He keeps getting haunted by what his friends said about the Empire being rotten to the core. He doesn't believe him. And, maybe they meet up in a quick battle together. And this time, his friend captures him. But his friend gives him a choice. He said, hey, you can join the rebellion, or I'll let you go back to your Empire if that's what you want. And it's a hard decision, but he decides he's going to go back to the Empire, because even though there's a few bad apples that he's going to report, the Empire is still good. It's still he's just willfully ignorant, right? He believes in the cause, and it must be the Empire must be the good guys. So it's a reversal of fortune now, as he is brought back into his squadron, but he is done being, in fact, at the very end, he gets the call up because, by the way, all this stuff happens during the original trilogy. I don't know if I mentioned that, but during the original trilogy. And so as he gets the call up now, they want him to test out and be part of the new squad of TIE Interceptors. Now, a TIE Interceptor is way faster, more maneuverability, maybe all the things that he hated from a TIE fighter. The TIE Interceptor is a much better vehicle. And maybe he realizes that, or fighter, and he says, yeah, it's time for me to get back in the cockpit. It's time for me to take it to the rebellion. My time as a bomber has been fun, but I can't play it safe and advance and say that I believe in the Empire. So he wants back on the front line. He gets the newest, latest, greatest, TIE Interceptors, and he's ready to battle. Now, this is the third book, right? Again, we're switching a vehicle every book here, which is kind of different. Not always doing with the X-Wings, So now it's called TIE Interceptor. This is how you can tell the three of them. And TIE Interceptor, we kind of fast forward past the Empire. Past the Return of the Jedi, because I want him. He wasn't there at Endor. He's kind of working around with the Warlord, and they're trying to regain. He's mad that the rebellion has taken over the galaxy, but he's also mad because he's seeing more corruption, and he's more frustrated. He's seeing more corruption in the Empire. And he doesn't like that. And maybe this time he does meet up with the Baron Suitner, who's realizing, yeah, kid, it's not like the old days. Like, I think the glory days of the Empire's past. Now, that kind of hurts his feelings because the Baron's one of his idols. He, flew with him for a little while for practice. And he still is trying to hold down to, no, there are still good people out there. Well, of course, this is going to end where he's eventually going to have to kill his best friend. He finally kills him, knows it's him, begs him to stop, pull out, but then takes him out. He doesn't eject. He dies. His ejection didn't work, whatever. And so he's racked with guilt over it. He also crashes after this, gets picked up by the rebels, or the New Republic, is their prisoner, is sour, but is getting talked to by rebels and sees something happen while he's with the rebellion, sees the truth of who the Empire is, and eventually does he accept his fate? Does he say, okay, now I need to join the New Republic? And so he's like, yeah, I think so. So they open his jail cell, say, welcome to the New Republic. Because the jailer wants to rehabilitate this guy. He knows he can be a good guy. And what happens at the very end of this, I'm going to pull the rug out from underneath you folks. He lied. He went back to the Empire and gave up the secret base or whatever plans the jailer had leaked to him. This guy had given away those plans to the Empire. Totally. Now, what do you think? Wait. He knows the Empire's evil now. Yes. But do you know what his solution is? I need to rise to the ranks and be honest and straightforward. That's what I need to do. I need to be that guy who rises above the corruption of the Empire and bring it back to glory. That's what his thinking was the whole time. Yes, the Empire, as it is now, is not like they are. They're squabbling, cold-hearted, thugs. They're the bad guys. They're everything. We railed against the rebellion now. But he still believes. His faith is so stubborn in the Empire. He still goes. Which, yes, you guessed it, there's a book 4, because there's always 4 books, right? Because the X-Wing series. And the last one's called, you got it, Star Destroyer. Because he is captain of his own ship. Now, this takes place during the Thrawn books. And he's one of the captains of a Star Destroyer that has been rendered under Thrawn's control. Thrawn is moving him around here and there. Thrawn makes little appearances, via holocam over to this captain now because he's risen through the ranks. Thrawn's been very impressed with his service level, gives him a Star Destroyer. He was working on Star Destroyer prior to that. Their previous captain was kind of selfish, self-centered, tried to do something, cheat Thrawn. Thrawn knew that, had him executed, and brought up his second in command, which is this guy. This guy is set to make the world a better place, and that's what he's going to do. And but meanwhile, we realize he holds maybe a piece or a necklace, something of his friend that he killed. The X-Wing pilot, now that he killed, he's always going to remember him. So we find out, even though he betrayed the rebellion in the 3rd book, or the New Republic, he still has some affinity. There's still a little bit of that. Part of what he said about feeling remorse and everything was true, because he still feels remorse. And as he's been getting older, he's been getting kind of wiser now. And yes, he believes fully in Thrawn. Thrawn is what the Empire... There is no one else. There is no one else that is as good and pure as Thrawn to take it to the... he thinks this is his chance to establish the Empire as it always was. Well, he has his own little adventure as well, kind of separate from the forces. He's... Whatever the heir to the Empire had the ships, grouping at or getting ready for a big attack, he's kind of involved in that. But... he's relatively an unheard Star Destroyer that was in Thrawn's fleet. That was going to be utilized at the end. Maybe he was part of the last battle. Who knows? Either way, when the news goes down, because he's in a battle right now that he thinks he can win, and then he's just having... the whole time it's tearing him up from the inside. That he's thinking, man, this New Republic, they really are good people. But why can't they be the Empire? Why can't they just, become the Empire and we can, everything can be ordered? He still needs them to be a little bit more firm on things. But when Thrawn dies and he gets the news, that's it. He knows it's over. He goes ahead and surrenders his ship. He's ready to stand trial. The former jailer is there, about to take him away. And he goes, "Do with me what you will. I betrayed you. You give me every right." And so instead of the death sentence, which is what he thinks he's going to get for betraying and killing a bunch of rebels, he just gets a life sentence or whatnot with a chance at rehabilitation or getting out, early release on good behavior. And he's like shaking his head. This is what's wrong with the New Republic. You guys give second chances and you shouldn't. And maybe the jailer, who, I don't know, maybe was a Force adept. I don't know. We'll just make him just regular. He just has faith in him. He says, "I think, I'm going to try to, every day I'm going to work on rehabilitating you and seeing if we can, because we do see the good in people." And he kind of smiles. He said, "Well, sure." He said, "If you want to waste your time." But that's kind of how it ends. It's kind of tragic, but at the same time, you're thinking, is there hope for him to get rehabilitated? And in the next book called Death Star, I'm kidding. There's nothing else after that. But that's what I thought a 4-book series from the TIE Fighter perspective would be. Again, he's running through all the different vehicles, and each book is a different, like I said, TIE Fighter, then to TIE Bomber, then to TIE Interceptor, all making sense, up to Star Destroyer. And he's rising through the ranks as this is going on. I think this would be a good, because it takes place over a span of, 7 years or whatnot. I think that'd be an interesting story. Now, something else I wanted to add here, that I've thought about this even less, but I did say, wait a minute, could I do this and make one of a rebel pilot? But he doesn't fly X-Wings, he flies Y-Wings. Now, get me out here. Just hear me out. All right, so, what was it? And I think it's Young Jedi Knights. Someone complains, like an old admiral or captain complains to the kids that Y-Wings are kind of out, they've been mothballed. And he used to pilot Y-Wings. And he's kind of pining for the old days when Y-Wings were a thing. Now, and I always found that interesting. I was like, oh yeah, Y-Wings were outdated during A New Hope. Eventually, they have to phase those out, right? You don't have Y-Wings anymore in your command. Now, I think, or where I am in the Bantam era, I haven't heard them flying any Y-Wings, B-Wings and A-Wings, and X-Wings. That's it. So somewhere in there, maybe the Y-Wing quietly got retired and the writers didn't pick it back up again. Or maybe it's in New Jedi Order, I just don't remember. Either way, Y-Wings eventually get mothballed, all right? Well, what if this is the last Y-Wing squadron? Everyone is getting updates, everyone's getting upgrades, everyone's getting new fighters, and the Republic is slowly phasing out all those old Y-Wings. And this guy, maybe he started his career in a Y-Wing, and he's passed up for a upgrade every time. He makes sure he passes on the offer for upgrades to B-Wings, X-Wings, A-Wings, E-Wings even. All he wants to fly is the old faithful Y-Wing. Here we get to learn about the Y-Wings and everything, okay? Now, eventually, again, just kind of like TIE Fighter, at the end of this book, the Y-Wing will be retired. So he's going to hop to different vehicles in each novel. Okay, sorry, I had to pause for a minute because I had the hiccups. Anyway, I'm back. All right, so it's going to be just like the TIE Fighter books, where he's going to switch vehicles every book. So he has to pick a new, because the Y-Wing is now it. He's got to be upgraded, or that's it. The Y-Wings are done. Their last mission is over. He has to begrudgingly accept a new vehicle. He chooses B-Wings, right? Still powerful. They don't move so fast, but maybe the closest thing to a Y-Wing he can maneuver and feel comfortable in. So now he and his squadron are trying to get used to B-Wings. And here you can go into all the aesthetics of what a B-Wing is, how it maneuvers, how it works. How it's got more firepower, but he still misses his Y-Wing. How it's got more maneuverability, but he still misses his Y-Wing. Eventually, he gets comfortable in a stack of B-Wings, all right? Now, just like Aaron Alston's book, though, I switch the point of view. I love how in Aaron Austin's books, Race Squadron, the main character always tends to be someone else. Kale, then Face and Tom, then I argue that it's Mendonos in the third book. But it seems like the main character just kind of evolves to someone else as everyone else takes a back seat. So this would happen as well. On his B-Wing squadron is a younger, probably one of the last recruits for the Y-Wings. And so he's just excited to be in a B-Wing. It's more from his perspective. Of course, everyone else will be part of it. And, there's adventures that happen. I don't really have an overall story arc with this, but we find out they go on some missions and stuff with their B-Wings, find out what they can do. But unfortunately, something terrible happens that wipes out. Yes, I'm just like Aaron Austin killed off people. I'm going to kill off pilots too. It wipes out the whole group of them. Now, thinking, what can wipe out a group of B-Wings? Well, are you ready for this? I have a great idea. It's going to be during. No. What was my idea on this? I think this is going to happen during. I need to find out when a Y-Wing was, but I want it during one of the big tragedies. I'm trying to think of what happened. I don't want it in New Jedi Order. I think that's too far gone. But I don't know. Maybe in some battle that we'd heard about where the New Republic took some heavy losses, these B-Wings, man, they took the brunt of the action and they're all gone. And so it kind of destroys this young kid that now everyone's gone. And now this kid that you followed in book 1, but it wasn't from his point of view until book 2, now he's all you got left. So what does he do? I mean, he's gotten the stripes underneath him. They'll give him his own command of his own B-Wing. He doesn't want a B-Wing. The reason why the B-Wings didn't work is because they weren't fast enough to get away from some explosion or dodge these, faster ships. He wants the fastest ship around, and it's an A-Wing. Yay! There you go. And so now he's in an A-Wing in book 3 and having adventures, piloting through an A-Wing, doing adventures. I guess now we get to learn how A-Wing maneuvers, how it feels behind the stick, what A-Wing pilots are like. Maybe he runs into Kraken's kid. Oh, gosh, I can't remember his name right now. But anyway, Pash Kraken. There it is. And, maybe flies with him for a little while with the Yellow Aces. But some A-Wing action, baby. So each one of these books kind of highlight one of the other Rebel fighters that we never got to see, hear that much about in the expanded universe. Now, just like everything, I want to give it a book 4. And this time I thought about calling it Republic Command, where it's years later, probably during the Vong War, and he's taken on a command ship, a Mon Calamari cruiser or whatnot. And so it's him trying to adjust as he was newly promoted because there's been a lot of promotions lately because there's so much death in the New Jedi Order that he still doesn't feel prepared yet. He does his best, maybe saves the day. That's right, no one's going to die, or no one big's going to die in this. And you got to fit some love story in there too. Maybe he met an A-Wing pilot and fell in love with her, and now they're together, and you think that she may die, but she doesn't. It's a New Jedi Order era book, but I won't do that many deaths. I won't be any big deaths, maybe, just side character deaths. Unless there's a character I can think about that was never mentioned again. Oh, gosh. Does Jedi Prince Ken die? Does the Jedi Prince Ken, who accompanies him on his ship, die? Yes. I think I actually like this idea. So that's what I'm going to do. Boom. So there you go. And I don't know what I'd call that. The Wing series. The Wing Commander series or whatnot. I don't know. But those are my other ideas. I didn't have them as fleshed out, but I wanted to give them. Man, that felt good about talking about. Man, hey. I went over 15 minutes, though. Even better. All right, so I did have another thing I wanted to talk about here, and it's just kind of petty, I guess. I heard not too long ago, someone says, hey, everyone's looking for that magic drug, right, that makes you not eat as much, go on a diet, not without having to exercise. I don't want to exercise. I want to eat what I want, but I want to lose weight. Okay, first off, if you truly want to lose weight, you diet. Or you'd exercise, or better, you do both. If you really wanted to. I hate people who keep saying, yeah, I want to lose some weight, but they don't. They're sitting there stuffing their face full of pizza. Because they had a salad too, they figure it's okay. Or they drank a Diet Coke with it, they figure it's okay. Like, yep, I'm going to do one of them diets too someday. I'm going to start working at the gym again. No, you're not. No, you're not, because you're not. And here's the thing. Do I think they have to lose weight? No, it's up to them. A lot of my friends are, as we get older, we put on extra weight, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're happy with it, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not going to say I think we should all kind of keep in the best shape we can. I'm trying to keep in shape because I got kids, man. I can't be old and flabby, man. I've got to be old and, real thin at least to get around. So this is also kind of a longevity thing so I can keep up with my smaller kids, which I should have had maybe 20 years ago even. But now, getting to be an older man, I got to keep hoofing it. Thankfully, I can still hoof up them steps. We live in a 2-story home, and the steps don't scare me. I'm fine. I go at it with the tenacity. I'm happy to be going up and down steps. It's fine. Again, not as young as I used to be, obviously, but I'm trying to keep in shape, trying to keep the body weight down and everything. Because, as we get older, like I said, it's harder. I do strict diets, and I don't mind. I don't care. Do I want pizza? Do I want, really for me, I want Subway sandwiches and stuff like that. That's what I really miss is the bread. The bread on a Firehouse sub or something. Oh my gosh. That is people say, do you miss cookies? Do you miss ice cream? I don't. Do you miss sugar at all? No. But do I miss my sandwiches, my bread, same with all the meat and everything. Wow. That's what I miss. But I'd rather lose weight. And every time and when people eat pizza in front of me, and like we're about to throw away 3 boxes of pizza. We had a big party here. Everyone ate pizza. There are leftovers. I would never allow leftovers to go. But eventually, in the next couple of days, I'm going to have to throw it away because no one's going to eat it. I fed pizza to my girls twice. They only eat 1 slice and they're done. My wife won't touch it because now it's known as leftovers, and she doesn't touch leftovers. So we're throwing away boxes of pizza, which hurts my heart. I throw away more food whenever I go on diet. I've been writing down all that. I've thrown away 2 casseroles, whole thing of potatoes, lots of vegetables. I mean, lots of different types of vegetables, not all vegetables, but throwing a bunch of stuff away that I can't eat. Like fruit's about to spoil right now, and it hurts my heart. And I'm not eating it because I can eat fruit actually right now, but I'm not eating it because my girls usually love strawberries, but my wife, I don't know if she hid it on purpose or she was just behind something the whole time. I noticed the strawberries look dried out. And I didn't try one. I may try it on my guinea pig girls, but other than that, though, long-winded way to say, if you're going to go on a diet, if you're going to exercise, do it. If you're not, then shut up. Shut up. I'm not even going to judge you for being overweight. I don't care. But just stop talking like you are. I don't know. That's just me. It just really bothers me. Especially when I'm the one doing the work and people can see the results. They're going, dang, you're looking thin. Yeah, I'm going to do my diet soon. No, you're not. No, you're not. And there's always a reason to get off the diet. Well, it's not right now. I can't do it right now because, Easter was just now, or now school's about to get out. We're supposed to go on a little trip. I'm going to try to do it over the summer. Oh, but 4th of July, we always got to eat on 4th of July. Okay, there's always, or a birthday or whatnot. There's always a reason, okay? Man, I've gone through several birthdays. I don't need cake. I don't need ice cream. I don't eat most of the stuff. On the diet I'm on, I'm almost done, though. I mean, I started it late. Usually I do a 30-day hardcore diet in January, and I'm good for the rest of the year. But I'm tired of always doing it because I do eat irresponsibly starting, Halloween and then for the rest of the year. I mean, candy, popcorn, bring it, sweets, snacks, going out to eat, all this stuff. I gorge myself because it's around the holiday season. And yeah, I shouldn't, but I'm there to party. And of course, I can already feel myself at that point gaining all that weight back. I've gained weight back over the few months, I know, but I really start ballooning, and that's when immediately in January I go on 30-day diet and I'm down again. I didn't want to keep looping it around, so I decided to do what's kind of like a tier level where I'm slowly rewarding myself. I'm at the tail end now. Every 2 weeks, I'm off it because now I can have all fruits and veggies. Pretty soon I can have cheese and milk and stuff like that and butter. And then a few more weeks after that, I can have just about everything but sugars and fast foods and stuff. And then 2 weeks after that, which I think is around May 8th or something like that, then I'm totally done. And I'll try to eat in moderation better, so I won't have to do this diet every year. But it's a fun diet because the diet gets easier the longer you get on it. And my hiccups have returned, so I'll be ending this soon. But other than that, I don't know. I'm feeling good about it. I don't feel bad. Oh, Matt, aren't you hungry? No, I'm not hungry all the time. Oh, don't you hate? Yeah, sometimes it sucks eating the same things over and over again, but I don't mind. But please, everyone, don't be the guy who's always saying, or the girl who's always saying, I'm going to lose weight this time. I'm going to go on diet. I'm going to work out next year. No, you're not. No, you're not. Be happy with yourself the way you are. If you're not, then really knuckle down and do it. All right. That was it. Oh, wow. It's like a health PSA announcement at the end of that, great EU stuff I was dropping on you. But anyway, that's it for now, folks. See you later on Princes of the Universe.